Hey everybody, welcome back to Bobby Likes It Spooky. We are at day 6 of our Halloween Ends countdown. Because if you guys don't know already, I'm doing the countdown, reviewing all these movies with a special guest, and we're leading up to Halloween Ends, which I'm excited about. But today we're here to talk Halloween 6, and I have a special guest with me. If you don't know already, obviously the name is right there at the bottom, so you guys should know who it is. But let's welcome and bring him in anyway. Hello, Michael, my co-host.
Hello. What's up, Bob? What's up, world? Hello, everyone.
I'm so happy to obviously have you here. I had to have you here because I mean, come on, the people under the scares, and you're a Halloween fan like myself.
I
Probably not as big, but
no, I would. I don't know all the intricate details that you know, but I do enjoy Michael Myers, and I think he is probably one of the scariest of the slasher villains. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I love that. A lot of people will debate you on that, but I
Who
won't.
would they
I
say is
agree.
scarier?
Some people's probably gonna say Freddy for reasons, or just put this on Twitter. I'm sure it's very divisive. It'll be all over the
I'll
place.
do that. I'll do that when we get off of here. I'll provoke for any argument. Freddy's cool. I do like Freddy, but it's different when he's funny. Michael Myers is just like the epitome of darkness and evil. Also, Freddy's not going to be wandering around my house. Michael could just literally be watching you at any point in time and you don't know where he's at. So
Right,
that to me is more scary than somebody in my dreams.
exactly. Even though the whole dream thing is scarier, it's scary things about it because like you have to sleep and you can't just like stay up forever. But at
Mhm.
the same time, it's like go to sleep, deal with Freddy, stay awake, you deal with Michael. And again, Michael like to be in stealth mode. He like to hide in closets, behind doors, hide in the shadows and the darkness, and you know,
He's a
it,
peeping Tom.
he is, and it's scary. It's a lot of times that in this movie here that he just pops out of nowhere, and you just be like, okay. They try to replicate the first movie with some of the scares,
Mhm.
but yeah, it didn't quite work, at least for me. But we'll talk about that. But it's day 6. It's day 6, which
Yes.
means Halloween 6. And we will be talking about the curse of Michael Myers, also the producer's cut, because we're going to talk about some differences. I watched both of the movies last night, and yeah, there's things I like about the producer's cut, and there's things I hate about the producer's cut, along with the theatrical cut. So neither one of these movies are perfect, but it is what it is. So
I
yeah,
think it's a masterpiece. So I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. I really don't. It's just
okay.
not as Halloween as some of the other movies are.
Okay. It that all right, so we'll talk about it when we get there. But before we talk about this movie, do you want to plug your socials? Let people know where they can find you before we get
You can find me at all the info's below. Twitter and Instagram is at ThackRayBanks86. I talk a lot of shit about horror. I like to have a little friendly debates. We can review stuff. Just go ahead and follow me. It's a fun time. It's a fun time.
yes. And by the time this is out, the people under the scares would be out. So you definitely can hear us on
Correct.
here as well.
It will be out, I believe. Well, that doesn't make sense to say that. Never mind.
Maybe by the time this come out, the second episode should be out or coming out.
Yeah, coming out.
Yeah,
I can't do math right now.
me
It'll be
neither, but
around
it's
it.
okay. It'd be around. Yeah, exactly. It'd be around that time. All right, so Halloween 6. I'm gonna read this plot real quick. 6 years after Michael Myers last terrorized Haddonfield, he returns there in pursuit of his niece Jamie Lloyd, who has escaped with her newborn child, for which Michael, mysterious cult, have sinister plans for. And this movie is directed by Joe Chappelle. Um, so okay, so obviously they brought up Jamie Lloyd, and Jamie Lloyd was obviously in part 4 and part 5,
Mhm.
and then they kind of killed her off. And depending on which version you watch, they killed her off in the beginning of the movie, where in the producer's cut, she dies, but a little later on in the movie. But she still dies. And there's been talks, I think I mentioned this to you before about Danielle Harris reprising the role, but it's been a whole situation with that where they didn't. It's been complications in trying to get her back because money issues, and then her being too young, and then all of a sudden, she's trying to get herself emancipated so she can play the role because she really loves Jamie, but it was still a money issue, and they wanted to kill her character off, and she wasn't here for that, so she bounced on a project, and they recast her, her character, and everybody miss Danielle Harris in that role, which I mean I do too, because I would be highly upset if I seen Danielle Harris in that role and being killed off. And either way, the
in
producer's
the
cut
beginning.
or in the beginning, it doesn't matter. So yeah, it sucks that she wasn't in this one, but I'd rather her not be in it at all than being killed in a
Well,
sucky way.
she knows her worth, I guess. And she was like, well, fuck it, I'm not doing it. And that's what it is. And maybe the movie suffered a little bit because she wasn't in it, where you're not drawn to this actress at all, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And you probably won't even know it's Jamie unless you're actually listening in the beginning of it. And when somebody says her name, because I think when I first saw this, I was like, "Oh, this some random woman he's chasing. Who is this?" Jamie. I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. It's again like when I was younger, I was like, I remember that like whoever I was watching, I think it was like my aunt or somebody, and she was just like, "Yeah, that's supposed to be the little girl from the last two films," and I'm like, "That's supposed to be her? That looks nothing like her," but okay. And even just like watching now, it's just. Yeah, it sucks. I wonder how the movie would have turned out if the movie still would have continued to follow Jamie, rather than going on to Kara and her family. Even though I like Kara Strode, but and nobody don't really talk about her that much. I feel like she was a great
She's
final girl.
so underrated. So underrated.
Yeah. So speaking of that, so we have our characters, Kara Strode. We have Danny, which is her son. We have Tommy Doyle, who's played by Paul Rudd in this movie, which very, very everybody finds him so hot. And yes, he's cute, but he's just so creepy. He's creepy in this movie to me.
He is. When he was yelling at the that woman at the hospital.
Oh yeah, and she picked up the phone like, security.
Relax, just a little bit. You're doing too much. But he was fine. Oh my god. Maybe that's why I picked this movie because.
And two, the people under Skier's fish. Yes, Paul Rudd is in this movie. This is one of his. I think this was his first movie, but I think Clueless came out before this movie.
It said introducing, and it even had his middle name in it. So I was like, maybe this was done first, maybe because I think I don't remember his middle name.
Yeah,
Steven, something like it was S. I know it started with an S.
Yeah. But I always enjoyed him in this movie, even though he was a creep. But I liked him a lot. And then, we have Donald Pleasance, who played Dr. Loomis. This was his last movie. Unfortunately, he died. I think he rapped, but he died before they were able to finish it. And, he wasn't able to see the film because he died before it was put out to the world, unfortunately. So he never got a chance to see this movie. But it was a nice, this is I don't know, I like Dr. Loomis in this movie, but you could definitely tell he's a lot older, so he couldn't really do much.
I mean, shit, all he was doing the last one was throwing Jamie in the way and screaming at her.
True. He was yelling in her face a lot.
Come get her, Michael. Come get her.
Right, holding her to Michael. Damn. But this one, it was nice to see him. But the ending was, again, producer's cut, and then the theatrical cut. And the producer's cut, Dr. Loomis survives, but he has the mark of the thorn on his wrist now. Mm-hmm. And he's like the new, I guess, cult leader or something like that. I don't know.
New voice, maybe. I don't know what the hell. I, you know,
It was
I
very
did
odd.
this cut. I just didn't like the ending.
Mm.
I think well, I guess Michael wasn't outdone, but like, what is it? Like, I just don't know what it means at that point. So is Michael still Michael, and then Dr. Loomis is now the man with the voice?
Right. That's what I'm saying, because he switched with Dr. Wen. Because when Dr. Loomis came to, the ruins and stuff, that Paul Rudd, Tommy Doyle left for Michael to stop him, which was so whack. And Dr. Loomis go over there and take the mask off, and is Dr. Wen. And I'm just like,
And that's the other thing. His mask is gone.
exactly. And then, we get a cut to Michael's wearing Dr. Wen's outfit, and he stops and, take a look back, and then I guess proceeds to keep walking. After you hear Dr. Loomis screaming after he was getting that tattoo, which was really strange too, because I'm like, all right, you see the tattoo appear on him, and he's like screaming, and then like Dr. Loomis's face expression was just very like, I don't know, I was confused. I'm like, what's happening? Like, are you going, like you said, are you going to be the voice now, or are you going to be like the killer? Like, what's going on? Like, I was very confused, and I'm just like, well, is Michael free now? Is he like, he don't have to do anything. He can live his life as a normal person. Like, what is actually happening? It was so confusing. And that scream that Dr. Loomis does, it's used again in the theatrical cut, but
Is.
way where he's being, I guess we're assuming that he's being killed, because after that whole battle between Kara and Tommy and Michael, they drug him up with the needles, whatever the hell that was in there. And when they escaped, Dr. Loomis was like, no, I got unfinished business or something here. And you cut to a scene of seeing Michael's mask on the floor with the needles. And all of a sudden, it fades to black, and you just hear Dr. Loomis screaming. That same scream when he got the tattoo, but in this cut, you just assume that Michael got him, and and then the movie is done. So it's very interesting. Which cut do you prefer?
Fuck. I like the producer's cut. I just don't like the ending.
Okay.
Even though I guess if you go with the producer's cut, the theatrical ending may not make sense, but I felt like that just was more of an accurate idea of what should happen at the end of a fucking Halloween movie. I get runes are supposed to be a thing, but no, that is not how I want Michael Myers to be done.
Right.
To trap him in a circle of stones.
Right.
Of ruins. I didn't like. Runes, excuse me.
Runes. Yeah, I agree. I remember when I first watched this, I was puzzled. I'm just like seriously, this is how we're stopping Michael with rocks? Okay, sure. This is a curse, whatever. I hate it. One thing I noticed about the difference between the two cuts, the theatrical cut is a lot gorier. So there's a scene where Kara Strode's father is going in the house, and he goes in the basement, and Michael Myers, and he electrocutes him. In the producer's cut, he just electrocuted, and that's it. The lights are flickering, he's getting electrocuted, and his head goes down, and he's dead. In the theatrical version, he explodes.
Good. As he should. He was a hot mess. John Strode.
It was horrible. He gave very, if you know what I mean, not to be political, but he would definitely be there on January 6th along with Tommy Doyle from Halloween Kills.
He was just so irrational. I was like, what are you mad about? Now, I will say, Kara was a little smart ass at the table one time, and I was like, I can understand something to you. But then he just took it a little too far. And I felt so bad for the wife, Deborah. I think her name's Deborah. Yeah. I felt so bad for her. It's like, she don't need to be in this mess. She just want to give her baby some money, some lunch money.
Mm-hmm. That was for her money and stuff. And in that scene, you see Danny, and he's like, after he slaps his mom, but Kara's dad, John, slapping her because they get into like a little argument. Danny pulls out like a knife, and he's about to stab him. And in my head, I'm like, yes, protect your mama, your mama. But in the producer's cut, you hear the voice, Danny, kill for me. and you go, he looks outside, and you see Michael Myers in the sheets and stuff. Like, look,
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, seriously.
I think why the reason I do like the producer's cut is because it gives me some sort of reason that shit is happening, even though I don't like the reason. I at least know what the hell is going. No, that's a lie. I don't know what's going on, but they give a reason as to why things are happening. Like I completely forgot that they gave a backstory of like 500 BC, all these different tribes. They would one kid in each tribe would have the mark of thorn, and they would have to sacrifice their family for the tribe to, I guess, flourish or some shit. I don't really understand how that works in modern times in Haddonfield, but sure, I'll go with it.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, Mike. Like, I feel like all of this could have worked, because it's not necessarily the curse that bothers me about this movie and, well, the Thorn trilogy. It doesn't bother me. It's just how it was handled. You know, I just felt like, again, with the runes and the even the cult a little bit, and just like the reason, it was kind of just like, if they were able to handle this curse a lot better and it was written a lot better, I'll be okay with it. Because, like, I don't mind. Like, yes, I always say that I don't want reasoning why Michael was killed, because to make it more scarier. But, and since we already have these movies, since we already got part 4 or 5, even 2, if you want to include that, and we're already doing this whole Thorn trilogy type of thing, then I feel like 6 should have been written a lot better and had a better explanation and why this curse is making Michael the way he is. Because I like the idea of a curse being passed down to like a family member, and you have to like break it and stuff like that. Like, I don't mind it. It's just, it has to be written well, and it just wasn't written well at all. So it's frustrating.
I was skimming through the trivia while watching, and apparently Joe, he was doing some mess, okay, and arguing with Donald Pleasance, which I don't like, okay.
In real life?
No, he said he was boring, I believe.
Wait, were they like where the characters arguing, or
arguing? I'm sure, but
okay.
Because what I also noticed is Donald Pleasance is not in a scene with Michael Myers in this movie, which is very strange to me.
You're right.
Very strange. It's almost like, well, why have him in the movie?
Yeah, you're right. Now that I think about it.
And there was supposed to be another script. Apparently that was better. But for some reason, they went with the producer in the theatrical cut. And foul play is all I got to say.
This movie is just atrocious. It's just a mess. They didn't know what to do anymore. And that's what happens when you're producing these movies and just putting them out and getting different directors that don't really probably love the franchise. And, I just want to get this director, and they just do whatever they want. I believe Halloween 4, they were very excited about that one. And I think that's why Halloween 4 is one of a lot of people's favorites, because you can, even though Michael Myers' mask is kind of like, but the story isn't bad, and the atmosphere is great. The actors are pretty cool, and a lot of people enjoy that one. And it doesn't do too much. Then you get part 5 when they introduce the cult, and that's when, and then Michael Myers' mask is looking real crazy, and then the way Jamie connection to Michael, like them adding all these new elements that it had nothing to do with Halloween and just in general, kind of ruined the whole entire thing. So now you got Halloween 6 where you're trying to pick up after the mess that last director or last writer did. So it's just like, I see the frustration here, because it's like you got somebody that took one of the movies and made it horrible, and now you're trying to get it back to the way people remember it. But it's hard because, like, the mess that came before this one here is like, all right, I have to somehow fix this. And
I would have made that a dream. That last 2-3 minutes of that last movie, it really happened. She imagined somebody came and made him escape. I would have gotten rid of all that.
Right. That's true. And then they did the smart move in making H2O and just taking all of that off and just going right to part 2. Take part 4, 5, and 6 off.
I have something to say. It might be controversial. You might hate me after this.
Do you
But
like this better than H2O?
no.
Oh, okay.
Um, but this might be a worse take actually. I think Kara. How could I say this?
Choose your words like you choose.
She was doing her damn thing more than Lori and Jamie. So until H2O, I feel like Kara was busting Michael's ass at some point. But, I mean, great. Like I'm just hearing me out. Lori is good at surviving in the first two movies, and getting away from danger. But she was not going toe to toe with Michael like that. And obviously, Jamie was running away because she's a kid. But Kara's the first one, really. The first, I guess, of the final girls of Halloween, who was like, "I'm gonna bust you in your fucking face, bitch, if you keep coming after me and my kid." And she was fucking him up. And she was now after H2O, then it was Lori for me.
Okay. I mean, I get what you're saying. Especially, I guess it depends on the characters because Kara has a kid and her kid is in danger, so she's doing whatever it takes to save her kid. So I can see that. And you're right. The moments in this film where she is busting Michael's ass, even her being smart hiding and knocking him down the steps when she had the fire poker or whatever. And then she's going over and, he grabs her leg and then, they're running. So I get what you're saying, but obviously, guys, and whoever's watching, don't
kill me.
Yeah, don't attack my friend over here.
Don't kill me.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, Kara, she did what she had to do to save her kid, so I get it. I want to talk about that moment, especially when they were running, because they tried to recreate the chase scene from the house to house. The theatrical version of this movie, there's like a rock version, like a guitar version of the theme song.
It's very 90s. It's very 90s. It takes away from the horror for me, like adding that music in. They should have just stuck with I don't even know. Like there were a lot of points where it was rock music instead of like the Halloween music.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did that.
But in the producer's cut, they use a lot of the original themes because this chase scene, they used the regular theme, but it wasn't the rock version. So I'm just like, that's why I like some parts of the producer's cut. Because like you, they should have just stuck with just the simpleness of the Halloween music rather than trying to upgrade it and make it current or modern for that time. Because it was very 90s. So yeah, it's choices, definitely choices. But them trying to recreate that, I was laughing because the way Michael was walking, I'm like, shout out to George P. Wilbur because he played Michael Myers in Halloween 4 as well. And they brought him back for Halloween 6. And he's just a stocky guy. So watching Michael walk from the house chasing Kara and her son, it was hilarious to me because it was just something very like goofy about it.
Something was off. Also, in this picture right above me, he looks like Gary Busey. And he walks too fast. I wish they would have told him to slow down a bit. But now that you say the rock shit, now that I'm thinking about it, if there's rock music, it would make sense for him to be walking faster versus slower.
Why? Can he hear the music?
Because if it's rock music, it's very high paced. So him walking very slow doesn't make sense. It doesn't match up. So and another thing, they do something they do on TV shows. They do some quick jump to another scene. Yeah. They did that like unnecessarily a lot of times in this, including with Michael. And yeah, his walks, choices.
Yeah, very much choices. But it's weird because I'm like, I wonder if they say, oh, well, this music is going to be different. It's going to be a rock thing, so I'm going to need you to pick up the pace because this is not going to be like the other one. So George P. Wilbur is like, okay, let me walk fast. It's like, I don't know if he knows that.
Like I was just telling you before we started, like it reminds me of that whole zombie debate. If you find slower ones or faster ones scary, I feel like they were saying in this, we want to make them scary, we want to make them faster. So you got to be a little more on your toes versus you. Because I mean, let's face it, Laurie had a bit of time to get in that damn house in the first movie.
She did.
This one, you got a good 5 seconds to get in the house. or through the door or whatever. There were a few times I thought somebody was about to get snatched up.
Right.
Like at the end in the theatrical with Kara and Tommy Doyle is like trying to bust the door open, and Michael is like literally right here from snatching her ass up.
First of all, all right, so this is another thing. He's walking so slow to Tommy when Tommy was trying to get that knob off the door to help Kara, but any other time he's walking fast. He could have killed Tommy if he really wanted to.
And Tommy waited. He waited a good 5 to 10 seconds staring at him.
They were staring at each other for a good while before. So, all right, I want to talk about one of our favorite parts in the movie. I have two. One of them is obviously where, all right, so Tommy has been looking at Kara through this house from Mrs. Blankenship house. It's like a boarding house or something like that. She have rooms for people, and that's where Tommy's staying. And he just, they happen to live across the Myers house where the Strolls now live. And he's been peeking in her house, not to be a creep, but to just make sure that she's safe and Michael ain't popping up in there. But it comes all creepy because nobody knows about Michael, being out or being around. So a little later on in the film, Mrs. Blankenship, she seems to be like a fun, cutesy old lady, but come to find out she's a part of this cult. And they take Danny, and they take Danny, and Kara just like, oh hell no, like, so she no. So I think she has the baby, and she goes upstairs to get Danny, and I think Danny's up there with Mrs. Blankenship, and Mrs. Blankenship is like, hello dear, with the knife. She could have whipped that old lady's ass, but whatever. The cult people come bursting through the door, and what Kara do? She jumps off the fucking window. And the way she just jumps out the window is just so fucking funny to me. But it's like in your head. You said what?
It was like an instantaneous. She didn't even think about it. No. She saw them bust through the door. She jumped right out the window.
Exactly. Now, would you do that?
My reaction time is not that quick. I probably would have tried to fight them off and eventually lost. But I definitely would have popped that bitch in the face though before they got
100%. I definitely would do the same.
Or you could have hit her and then you throw her out the window with her to break her fall. You could have tried that. But
oh damn.
Would you have done that?
Like you, I don't think I would think that quickly. My reaction would to be instantly to fight them, Now, if it was like me running from Jason or something, and it's just me and him, or me and Michael, I should say, then I would probably jump out the window. But being as though you have these people that's coming in, and then you got Mrs. Blankenship there with her son, like if that was me, I wouldn't think of that. I'm like, oh, my son's still here. I can't just leave him. I need to fight or whatever, do whatever I can. But if it was just me and the villain, I would probably jump out the window if that's my only option to escape. So she wastes no time jumping out this damn window, which was hilarious. And then it cuts to the scene. I guess they take her to the what is it, like a hospital / they're
like in the basement of a hospital, maybe?
Yeah. And Dr. Loomis, I guess he was knocked out earlier, Paul Rudd, and then they all of a sudden wake up to, they took Kara and the baby. And they go over there to help save Kara. Then we talk about the scene where Michael comes out and try to chase them. And another scene that cracks me up is when they're running from Michael and they try to shut the gate on them. And they shut the gate, but Michael grips Kara by the ear. Let me go! Help! Oh, God! Like, as a kid, I always knew, like, he was over it. Like, it was so much. Now, granted, maybe she's really scared, and it probably did hurt, but that shit was so funny to me. I'm like, no, she's overacting. She
was perfect. But she saw her her brother's girlfriend getting stabbed, and she was like, you gotta get in the window. I thought it was
right behind you. You know what? I like Kara a lot. A lot of people don't talk about her, but I actually do enjoy Kara Strode, and a lot of people don't give her credit. Like I said, that moment was choices with her hair being pulled. But I guess like maybe it really did hurt. And
Well, he was choking her too.
oh yeah, he was.
Now, is she cousins with Lori? Like, well, I guess adopted cousins, whatever that term would be.
I think so because if they're
Because the brother couldn't sell the other brother couldn't sell the house.
yeah,
And I'm assuming, I don't know. This is a lot going
so
on.
maybe that's Lori's uncle.
Maybe.
And that's probably so that's probably Lori's cousin. Kara is her cousin.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay, there's so much going on. Another
So,
scene I like. Oh, go ahead.
so her other cousin died at the beginning of the movie, and she don't even know about it. She carrying this baby, or excuse me, Tommy stole this baby, and I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, all right. So Jamie is Lori's daughter, and Lori is Kara's cousin. So that means that this whole movie, she's trying to save this baby without knowing that's her. Well, maybe she does know.
Maybe I don't, because I feel like he didn't ever say whose baby it was.
He does say it's Jamie's because in the beginning he does say something about like I think Dr. Loomis found out because I don't know which cut it was, but it was like after they find Jamie's body. I think it was the theatrical cut, and they said that they got the placenta in the tube or whatever, and then Dr. Loomis was like, "Oh well, Jamie must have had a baby or something." Like they were putting things together. The plot just seems very just like rushed, and it just a lot of it didn't make any sense. But
so is the point of this? If Michael kills this baby, then he is done, and then Danny is going to then.
Yeah, I think he's passing the curse on to Danny. So I think the whole point of the curse is he has to kill another member of his family, and if Michael kills that last member of his family, or the youngest, I don't know which one it is. I think the curse will be done, and he'll be free of this curse. Because he can't control himself. Because if you think about when you go back to Halloween 5, when Danielle Harris was in the coffin after she finds Rachel dead up in the attic or wherever she was at, and she's having this little moment with Michael, and Michael takes off his mask, and you see a little tear come down Michael Myers' face. He does have humanity in him. It's just that he can't help it because he has this curse. So it's something else controlling him. So I think they try to play along with this in this movie here. He keeps killing because he's cursed. So they're trying to pass it on to Danny, but in order to do that, he has to kill the baby.
I mean, am I wrong for saying just give him the baby? And y'all could just deal with Danny. He's a child. I would rather be going up against Danny than Michael Myers. Well, I guess I could see Kara not wanting that to happen.
Yeah, that's her child.
But everybody else, like, y'all don't know this child. That's so terrible. Don't come for me. I'm just saying that is an option. There's an option.
Oh my god. Another scene I like is part of the kills in this movie, which we can talk about real quick. One of my favorite kills in this movie is when Michael kills, I think it's Deborah, Kara's mama. Because she's like running and stuff like that, and then she's pulling the laundry sheets off the clotheslines, and then she pulls that last one off, and you just see Michael, like the picture above you, with his ex, and she's like, Michael, and then he just get her the fuck out of here. And blood.
I wanted Deborah to live. She was like, "I'm getting my shit and I'm leaving."
Right.
But if you don't, oh well. You got a suitcase. I wouldn't even done that. You should have just left. You're gonna answer the phone before leaving. And then I'm also like, okay, so you went to the backyard. You better hop your 50-year-old ass over this fence. How do you not know your backyard?
Right. Like that's what I'm saying. Like she's like crawling on the ground and like pulling, like get your ass up. And like you said, you should know your backyard. Run. Like I don't know, but I don't know. It's a poor thing. I did like her because I feel like she was innocent and she didn't deserve what she got.
She was getting shit on the whole movie.
Yeah.
But that husband, I'm glad he got
Trash.
this. I am so glad. I'm glad he exploded.
Yeah. Yeah, I was more satisfied with the theatrical cut because that last one of him just being electrocuted wasn't good enough for me. But him exploding was just chef's kiss. So speaking of deaths, what are your favorite kills in this movie?
I actually think Jamie's in the theatrical is kind of. I was like, this seems kind of bad. Like, not even just pushing her down or whatever the fuck that farming machine was, but then turning it on and then it's rotating
Yeah,
inside you with your organs and shit. That was a lot.
yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
that to me might be my favorite.
Okay. Yeah, that was a crazy scene. Like him killing. I mean, it's pent up rage. Like he was like, "Look, I've been chasing you for fucking 2 movies now. You're gonna die this time." So it wasn't just like impelling her onto the thing. It was just, I'm gonna impel you, push you down, and turn the fucking thing on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way
He's
she
thorough.
goes.
He's not gonna let you get away for too long. Whew.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, my favorite kill is the mama getting sliced with the axe. Just even though it cut away, you don't see anything happen. Just you can just imagine how it would look in your head. Just leave it up to the imagination. So, and that's just a good shot of him holding the axe and having the camera like pointing up at him. After she pulls the sheet, I like that shot a lot. Another kill I like is there's another kill I like.
The tunnel scene where they're running and the man is also being chased by Michael, and we talk about you see Michael Myers actually running at one point.
Yes. All right. So he's chasing. All right. So let's rewind. So, oh yeah. So this goes to one of my favorite kills. One of my favorite kills is the massacre scene inside the surgery room. It's
Yeah.
like that strobe effect, and
Mm-hmm.
he's just like slicing everybody the fuck up, and you don't know exactly what's going on because the strobe is just going, and you just see him just taking everybody out. Um, that's one of my favorite scenes in this whole entire movie. But then one, I guess, doctor escapes and Michael's chasing him, and Michael's power walking at this point. And then at the same time, uh, um, Tommy, Tommy, and what's her name?
Kara.
Kara is running with the baby and Danny, and the guy's chasing after them like, "Help me!" And you see when Michael turned the corner, he's like running after this guy, like he's like jogging. I'm just like, what the fuck,
Go back
Michael?
and watch it, y'all. I swear. Because I brought it up to Bobby and he knew exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah,
You see Michael running after this man, not even walking fast, running.
right. And it's so hilarious. Like at least in the first movie, Michael like walked, and he did like Michael didn't even like run. He didn't jog. He walked fast because he was chasing Lori. But that was it. Michael was running in this movie, and it's
I was
comical.
running.
I said, so Michael runs now. Okay, we're adding a new element
How
to
would that
this.
be? Imagine he just starts running in like Halloween ends. If Michael's just he can run at that point.
Just don't do it. Don't mess it up. But yeah, that kill when he's just taking the guy's face and he's like banging it on the fucking gate, and he knocks the whole gate door down with that. That was a good one too. I enjoyed that scene, and then the whole battle at the end where Michael's trying to chase him, and they all whooping his ass. I was laughing at this part when everybody was down and Danny had the baby and Danny was hiding in that little spot.
Yep.
And Michael was walking towards him and trying to grab at him, and Danny was like, "Mommy, mommy!" I said, "Poor kid."
Rob, you better just hand that baby over, Danny.
I would have did that. I'm just like, here, take her. But then Michael gets fucked up. They jump him. They start whooping his ass with pipes, and they inject him with I don't even know what the hell they inject him with, but it's some green stuff. And as they whooping his ass, I do like the shot a lot. It's like these quick flashes of Michael and his head twist, and you see like green shit coming out his face, his mask and stuff.
Oh, why did you say that? I guess the green stuff is from what they injected in him. I never thought about that.
Yeah, but I want to know what the hell they inject them with.
It was so when they first got in there and Carol looked, you see like little fetuses, and is the liquid green in there where the fetuses were?
I think so. I thought it was like a bluish turquoise, but I mean, it could be that.
Maybe it's some kind of, I don't know, some tranquilizer or some, I don't know what it, I don't know.
I mean, clearly he felt a little dizzy because after they inject him with it, he was just like, you could just tell he was like woozy or dizzy and stuff. And that's how they were able to get him down. But it didn't clearly last long. Um, so yeah, they whoop his ass, and then, and like I said, in the theatrical cut, they just assume that he's dead. Dr. Loomis come get him out, and then they end up getting in the car and say, Dr. Loomis, come with us. And he's like, no, I got some unfinished business. And then it cuts to the mask with the syringes on the floor, and Michael's alive and he kills Dr. Loomis, but we just don't see it and it's off screen. And it says, and love and memory of Donald Pleasance, because unfortunately this was his last movie.
Yeah.
So I think, I mean, any final thoughts about this movie? Like, was there anything that you wanted to talk about? Any fun moments?
While watching it, I was wondering why I like this and everybody else seems to hate this movie. So I think I like it because it brings in different characters to deal with Michael, and it's not just a Laurie or Jamie, or it's like different people. I had no idea who the hell these people were. And so it gives other people a chance to like be in the franchise. So I think that's part of it. And again, Kara's a bad motherfucker, so that helped. And Paul S. Rudd.
He was great. He was great.
Yeah. I wish he would have stuck in horror a little bit.
I know they was trying to get him back for Halloween Kills, but if that's the Tommy Doyle that they were trying to make him play, I'm happy that he didn't.
He probably, because he was acting crazy in this, so he probably could have pulled that off. I wouldn't have been able to hate him like I hated the other one, though.
Yeah, because that was very, very cringe.
Whatever you want, Tommy. But whatever you want.
There was some moments I liked about this film. Well, one of the things I love about this film, and again, it's not my favorite, but I do enjoy this movie a lot, and a lot of people get on me because it's like, why do you like this movie so much? And it's kind of for the same reason. It's like they introduce newer characters, and I feel like they are trying to do their best with this whole cult situation. Also, I like the atmosphere in this. This movie seems very dark. Like, it feels like fall. This movie has one of the best atmospheres out of the Halloween franchise because how it looked. Like, even if you look at this picture right above you with Michael, it's just like I can tell it's fall in that picture.
They were saying this was the only one at that point that was filmed during fall.
Okay, which makes perfect sense. Yeah, which is great, and I feel like they should start doing that in Halloween movies, like film them in the fall or at least close to it. Just because I feel like Halloween movies, the atmosphere is important because it adds to the spookiness and the boogeyman, if you will.
Right. Why are there leaves around in the other Halloween movie? There should be a bunch of leaves all over the place. Candy wrappers on the fucking ground.
Right.
Late trick-or-treaters, because there's people who I had somebody show up at 4 a.m. one morning trick-or-treating. Now, that could have been a stranger situation if it went bad, but somebody showed up at 4 a.m. trick-or-treating.
Okay, now that's a bit much. I remember as a kid, I used to trick-or-treat, after school, and it used to be daylight saving time around that time. So it used to get dark earlier. On the day before Halloween, actually, on October 30th, the time went back. So we had, it would get dark a lot earlier. So we would go out trick-or-treating after school, after 3 o'clock, and we would go all the way until like 8, 9 o'clock at night. And it would be dark, and it just add, like, I'm an adult now, so I do miss those times, but it just, that's what we need to see in these movies. Like, I want to see trick-or-treaters out and about, doing their thing on Halloween, and that's why I like 2018 a lot, because that whole scene where Michael is going one house to another house, and it was nighttime, you see kids out trick-or-treating with their parents and stuff. I just love that whole atmosphere. So that's what I like about this movie here too, is because the atmosphere, again, it feels like fall, it smells like fall. And even, what else do I like about this movie? Even the characters, like Kara, I like her a lot. Danny didn't bother me, and kid actors bother me a lot, but he actually, you didn't like them? he was quiet for the most part. I think it was just the end when he was screaming "mommy," I was cracking up. But I think he wasn't that bad because he didn't really do much.
I mean,
So
that's true.
yeah, he was just there, you know. So um,
Maybe I'm biased. Maybe I wanted him to actually stab his grandfather.
he should have. Child, he should have. Jamie would never. Jamie Lloyd would have done it. Um, Michael Myers mask in certain frames and certain shots, it looks great. This shot right here, I think it looks great. Even though you said it like Gary Busey,
I will say what I do appreciate about Michael Myers is not being able to see his eyes in this mask.
yeah.
Well, I guess in the other ones too, but I like that we don't get to see his eyes at all.
Halloween 5, you see. Well, actually, no, because part 4 and 5, what they did was they put a mesh over the eyes, which in Halloween 1 and 2, they didn't have to do that. They kept it simple with just using darkness as their tool to keep it, you know, which practical effects. You didn't need a fucking mesh. In this movie, there were certain shots that I did see his eyes, especially on the scenes where like when he's electrocuting John, the light is blinking his face. You see his eyes there. There's another scene in the producer's cut where he's chasing them. And you see his eyes in some of the scenes in there as well. But it wasn't as much as in H2O, because H2O, child, it was the holes were like this big. You seen everything. I'm like, bro.
When he looks at Laurie through the little door, the window in the door.
Yeah,
that would have been better if you couldn't see his eyes.
Right. It's just even Dr. Loomis said he has the darkest eyes, the blackest eyes, and that's what makes him scary.
Also, she don't know what you look like. Why you keep trying to kill her with this mask on? Your mask off, and you will be able to kill her.
Right, you can sneak up on her, and she won't even know. But I do appreciate Michael's mask a little bit. It's just certain moments in there I'm just like, it doesn't look good, but certain moments it does look good, like this one right here.
Mm-hmm.
Any other scenes? I mean, also I do like the atmosphere in the actually not the atmosphere. What I'm talking about. I keep saying that. I like the moment in the producer's cut where they're all listening to this radio personality Barry Sims, and if like it's like an event, like everybody's listening to him. Tommy, Kara, even Dr. Loomis is listening to him, and they're talking about Michael Myers and why Halloween was banned and Haddonfield for so many years, and it's time to bring Halloween back because Michael Myers done spoiled it for everybody. So they're trying to bring Halloween back. So everybody's calling up Barry Sims, giving their experiences or saying the reasons why they like Michael. And even Jamie comes in like saying she needs help, but everybody thinks it's a joke. And somebody brings up Dr. Loomis, and then it cuts to Dr. Loomis. He turns around because somebody said, "Oh, is he like dead or something?" And Dr. Loomis is like, "Not dead, just very much retired." And I was like, "Oh, he's so cute."
So that could have been an interesting aspect, showing in the beginning like how long it's been since they've celebrated Halloween in the town, and how it leading up to like actually doing a big celebration. It should have been. I don't want to say like, which one is the one where there's a curfew? 4 or 5? 4?
I think it's 4.
4. It should have been like he's going throughout the town, killing mad people, not necessarily just on one street killing people. I think it should have been him randomly, like you say, you like that he randomly kills. But then with the curse of never mind. That wouldn't have made sense.
Yeah, it's just they made it difficult. They made it a lot difficult. But at the same time, he's still killing random people, if you think about it. Because in this movie, he kills Barry Sims when they're at that party, and he goes inside the van, and Michael comes out from behind the van, maybe because Barry Sims called him a pussy.
It was a random moment. It was a Randy moment from Scream.
It was inside the van.
He got snatched.
he stabbed him right in the junk, got him out of here. And that also leads to a part 2 that had me cracking up. Mommy, it's raining red. It's raining red. It's warm. That little girl sitting here spinning around in somebody's blood in her angel costume. I'm like, you didn't happen to look up and see a dead body up there, little girl? Okay, sure. Paul
You
Rudd looked up
know
there. You
they
seen it?
Rings Red. You are way too old. And I noticed that was a difference too. She was singing in the producer's cut, but she was just saying it in the
Yeah.
theatrical. I was
Yeah.
like, why is that different?
Yeah. It was very strange. I wonder what goes into making these like small changes like that, because that was an odd choice. But yeah, I think that's why I like this movie too. Again, it's just everything just feels like Halloween, and I kind of missed it because part 5 didn't feel like it. 4 felt like it. Um, and then when we get to H2O, we're in California, and it didn't really feel like it at all. And then obviously Resurrection was a dud. And then we get into Rob Zombie shits and stuff like that. So I feel like this was like the last movie that actually felt like it was a Halloween movie, but it's just you get the curse stuff going on with it that kind of just took us away from it. But yes, I enjoy this movie for the most part. I do prefer this over some of them. I probably would watch this more than part 5, which is strange because I love part 4, and if part 4 connects to part 5. But again, if I want to be scared, I will say this version of Michael Myers is a little bit scary too. Not scarier, but he is probably more scarier than part 4 and 5 Michael.
Yeah, I could see that. He's way more. He's like more reactive in this one.
Yeah.
Like Kara screams, he busts the door open. He's not
right.
lightly opening the door.
Right. He did bust through the door.
He's jogging in this movie. I mean, I can see being scared. I can see that.
Yeah. It's just he looks scary in this picture right here. But yeah.
And I see we Kara. I think she needs to be in Final Girl list somewhere.
I'm surprised we didn't put her on our list on people under the scares.
I know. I didn't think about her, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, she should be on the list.
Now we got to do a second one.
Yeah, or when we do our other Mother's Day episode, we can throw her on there as well because I mean she's
a mother. Yes.
She was whooping his ass a little bit, even though he yanked her out of here a couple times. But she did what she had to do.
She was not going down without a fight.
Yeah. All right. So the moments. All right. So she knocked him down the steps. That's one. And then when she was trying to walk over him, and when he grabbed her leg, she hit him again in the hand. So that's 2. 3 is when I guess the final moments when they were fighting at the
and that was a good 6, 7 times she was busting him in the face with that pipe.
Yeah, she was. And he was choking her out for a moment too, but she still got back up and whooped his ass. So, okay, it's that strobe blood in there. That's what it is. It's that strobe blood. Lori didn't come to, that until a little later on, but, got it from her cousin. So that's the end of this episode. But before we go, how would you rate this out of 5 jack-o'-lanterns?
Oh, okay. I'm not going to think of other movies. I'm just going to rate this.
Also, wait, hold up. Because also, when I do my reviews, I give it ratings, but I also give it a hard head watch. And a hard head watch is you would recommend. If you don't recommend, you don't have to give it a hard head watch. But if you do, give your rating and a hard head watch.
I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3. I don't think it's that bad. I just think in comparison to other movies, it's just not the greatest. I think it's entertaining at the very least. So you get a lot of points from me if you entertain me throughout the movie. And I will, what would you say, the horror watch? I'll give it that. I think everybody should watch this at least once, especially with like Michael Myers. Go ahead and watch it. And for you newbies who just watched 2018 and Kills, absolutely go ahead and just do a run through and make sure you watch this. Because Resurrection's one y'all need to be questioning, not cursing Michael Myers.
Yeah, that episode is going to be very interesting when I get to it. But you are absolutely right. That one should be questioned a lot more than this one, I should say. Even though, there is some incest situations going on too, but we didn't talk about that on here because that's gross.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was okay, really quick. I don't understand if Jamie's the last one. Why do they need her pregnant to have another
Right. Why
road, or
didn't they just kill her off and let that be
it
the
would have
end
been
of it?
done. Unless it needs
Yeah.
to be a newborn. Because they did have that room in the end where there were dead fetuses, so maybe it needs to be an innocent.
Okay.
And it's always a young child that gets
True.
turned, I guess. I don't know.
True. So I guess that's probably what it is. They didn't even go too deep into explaining all of that. So maybe in the director's commentary, I'll go back and watch and listen and see if they explain anything about that. Because yeah, very confusing. Very confusing. But yeah, same for me. I'll give this one I'll give it a 3, 2.5, 3. Jack o' lanterns. I'll also give it a horror hit watch. I do recommend watching this during the Halloween season. I'll
Mhm.
see you are here listening and watching us talk about this movie, so y'all probably done seen it before. But if y'all haven't, we spoiled the fuck out of it for y'all, and hopefully y'all still watch it.
Brilliant.
So, but yeah, I'll give it a horror hit watch as well. Um,
I think a good test. I'm going to say I don't think there's any Michael Myers movies that are not somewhat scary. I think a good test is to put it on at night, turn your phone off or put it away somewhere. All the lights are off, and you're watching it somewhere, but you're not watching with your back up against the wall. You got to be sitting somewhere where like there's space behind you, where there's an open door, or something that if somebody's behind you, they could get you. That I think will be a good test to see if you find this movie scary or not.
it adds to the fear in watching horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love that. That's why I decided to put this on at night because even though I've seen this movie so many times, um, I still wanted to feel a little scared, even though I'm not really scared of this. But I just want to feel, you know, excited.
Mm-hmm.
I like to be feeling like that when I'm watching a horror film. So I agree with you. If your house is designed and set up like how Michael described, if you have a couch in the middle of the floor and you have open space behind you, it adds to that creepiness because you never know somebody might pop up behind you and yank you from your spot.
Mm-hmm.
So
Put some headphones on too. You scare the fuck out of yourself. It's gonna
yeah.
happen.
Or if you have a theater system, blast that shit. I don't have a theater system. I have a sound bar and I had it blasting. And there were some moments where the music kind of just spiked the fuck up and made me was like, oh shit. So, but if you're watching, if you can put the headphones on, do it that way too, because the sound and the music and all that is more intense because it's right in your ear. So I agree with that. I like that. The last time I did that, I was watching a movie with headphones in, and I never did it again because I got freaked the fuck out. Was Insidious. Never done it
Oh
again.
yeah, yeah. That the sound in Insidious is crazy.
Woo! Insidious. That got me out of here with them headphones on. I said I'm never watching a horror movie like this again with headphones on. I'm sorry. I'm good. Okay, well that would be it. That's our ratings, and I love the Halloween franchise, and this is a fun one to talk about. And I'm happy you chose this one, Mike. And
Yes, thank you. I thought you were going to be disagree with everything I was saying, especially the Lori thing. So I'm happy that I wasn't getting dragged.
no, I'm not going to drag you. No, let's no, because I do because I understand what you're saying about Lori and Kara. Like, yes, Kara. I'm not Kara. Lori is our ultimate final girl. You know, she survived and she did fight Michael Myers. But comparison to Lori's first movie and Kara, and
Mm,
who put up a fight with Michael Myers more? Yes, Kara did. Yeah, Lori stabbed him in the neck with a needle, a needle pen, and stabbed him up in the eye with a hanger and stabbed him with a butcher knife. But Kara took a fucking fire poker or whatever the hell she had and was whooping his ass with it. She was fighting back. She
mhm,
wasn't really running away. Like in this scene right here at the bottom, you'll see that she's actually walking towards him because he's on the floor at the bottom of the steps, and she's doing that so she can walk past him to get her son. And I think that's the main focus there because I feel like if she didn't have a kid, she probably wouldn't be doing as much of this
mhm.
because she don't really have anybody to protect but herself. But being as though she have a kid, she was like, all bets are off. I need to get my boy. I don't care who the fuck this is. So yeah, she did put up more of a fight, but Lori will always be my final girl. So yeah.
You know who mine is. I'm not going to say it on here, but you know who mine is.
Well, if you guys watch listen to the People Under the Scares podcast, you guys should know.
You'll know. And soon after this is out, probably at the same time, we're both on a show called Scream Kings.
Yes.
With Tamon Kane and Marco Estes, who are both also really devoted horror fans. Mm-hmm. And we talk about our favorite final girls. Everybody has a different one. Everybody has a different favorite franchise. It's very messy, but fun messy. We go in on each other's favorites, mainly me. But it's a good time. It'll be October 12th, and you can check us out, I believe, on YouTube and all the other streaming services.
And our first episode is what? No other than
Halloween.
Yeah.
It's Halloween. It had a cool name too. I forgot what the name of it is, but it'll be out the 12th.
It'll be out. Yeah, it's gonna be fun, and it's perfect around this season. So it's perfect. After this countdown, you guys can go on to Scream Kings, and if you want more Halloween and just more of our insight and just a good ass time, like Mike said, October 12th will be all over YouTube and all those other platforms. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait for them to come out. We worked very hard on this show.
We did. They did a lot of research. A lot.
Yes. Thanks to Tamon by forcing us. Because listen. But yeah, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for you guys to check that out as well. All right, but we're going to say goodbye here. Mike, before we go, where can everybody find you again for everybody that missed it in the beginning?
Yes, again, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at ThackRayBanks86. You can find us on the People Under the Scares podcast and all the podcasting platforms. And you can find us, like we said, on Scream. I was about to say Queens. You can find us on Scream. I almost said it again. Scream Kings with a Z. Fuck. And
not an S.
Not an S.
Not an S.
And that's where you can find me. And of course, worshiping Alice at my altar in the closet. Alice Johnson from Nightmare on Elm Street, to be clear.
Yeah, you have to clear that up. But wrong franchise. We're not talking about her. Maybe next time.
We're not. Next time. Yes, next time.
And obviously, you guys know where to find me, Bobby Torres with a Z, not an S, on Twitter, Instagram. Obviously, you know my YouTube page because you're watching it. The People Under the Scares with Michael over here. I can't wait for you guys to get into our new, fresh episodes. And like Mike said, also Scream Kings, because it's going to be a good as time. I can't wait for you guys to dig into that. It's going to be great. And that would be it. So thanks again for watching, everybody, and happy Halloween. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Bye.